Am I the a-hole for telling my wife it is time she went back to work? My wife has been out of work since 2018. She had a mental breakdown during her 5th year of teaching. She's been going to therapy since, and we started marriage counseling during COVID. The reason for marriage counseling was because she thought I was pushing her too hard to go back to work before her and a therapist thought she was ready. I tried to explain many times that was not my intent, but realistically speaking, for me to keep up with the expenses and retirement contributions, I pretty much have to take on extra shifts, which sometimes clock in over 18 hours a day. And on average, I have been pulling 84-hour weeks. I've been doing this since she stopped working. We recently had a fight because I had an extremely rough week and had the conversation again about her going back to work. She opened up with the same line she always does. We do not feel it is the right time yet. She feels I have made great progress, and if I rush it, I run the risk of losing it. The we being her and a therapist. I told her I really do not care what her therapist has to say, and I'm sick of you hiding behind her words whenever this topic comes up. She started to cry, telling me she does not like being this way either, and I am belittling her due to suffering from mental health issues. I replied saying I do not indeed to belittle you or not to take your issues seriously. The problem is, I'm running myself ragged, and what happens if I have a mental break? Do you think I will have the luxury of not working? No, I will have to push through my demons. She said her therapist warned her this would happen sooner or later. I would try to manipulate her into doing something she was not ready to do. This is when I really lost it, and I just let it all out. I did not say anything kind. I told her she insults me for thinking what I am doing is manipulation. I told her I am working these extra shifts so she can be home and play games. I told her during this entire time, you have not even made an effort to improve on certain skills. I told her she can still not cook to save her life, and that I was sick of coming home after 12 or 18-hour days just to make us dinner, cause her idea of making dinner is pretty much a pre-made meal in the oven or ordering out. Among other things, that said, she stormed at the house crying, yelling, and shouting how I'm a horrible person, and would rather see myself comfortable versus her actually getting better. Oh, gosh. I hate the ones where you really gotta figure it out. Mental health is really important. You need to be able to take a break. But I think if it comes to the fact where it's straining you as well, you need to be able to take a break too. And if you're not in that comfortability, she needs to come to terms with that soon. It's been 5 years since she's went back to work. I think that's a very long time. I don't think you're the bad person here. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that she is smart and hardworking, but not gifted? My wife and I both have an electrical engineer degrees, but I no longer work in the field and am a manager. We have a daughter, 15 female, and a son, 17 male, and both will be headed to university next month. My son is doing a Bachelor of Arts and has not yet picked his major, and my daughter will be studying physics and computer science. My son is also very smart and is a history and language nerd. My daughter is smart and hardworking and is attending at an earlier age than usual. She was in a school program for gifted kids. We were having a conversation at dinner the other day, and my wife mentioned how proud she was of our daughter and how lucky we were to have gifted children going to good university programs and how not many people can do what our daughter did. I was also very happy, but I said that while daughter is really hardworking and smart, I would not say that she is actually gifted, and others can do it if they put in the same amount of work. Her school does a lot to try to admit girls into her program, and my wife helped teach her advanced college level math and physics from an earlier age. She didn't naturally pick it up on her own. If anything, being a younger applicant with the same credentials probably helped her stand out more for the admissions committee. I've seen how people can ruin their lives over thinking they are gifted and it going to the head, so I just wanted to caution her about that. Both my wife and daughter are upset at me now. My wife thinks I was trying to put her down, which is not true, and says she is gifted, while my daughter actually agrees with me but says I should not have said it, as she already knows. Am I the a-hole here? It might not come across in this post, but I am genuinely proud and happy for my kids and beyond what I described here. There was a lot of complimenting and celebration on my part. I don't understand why you would utter the words "you're not gifted" to your child. Sometimes you don't have to be so blunt. To me, it seems like you just don't want to give your child the utter satisfaction of being 100% complimented. Like, even if you genuinely think that, you don't need to say it out loud. That can be kept to yourself. Am I the a-hole for not helping my brother babysit his 3 kids? My 33 female older brother, 40 male, has 3 kids under 5. I myself have no children by choice. Him and I were never very close, but he is always asking for help with the kids. Saturday was a beautiful day. My husband and I had plans to spend the day in our pool. At 10 a.m, he calls me and asks me to come over and help with the kids for an hour or two because his wife is going to go get her nails done. I declined and told him what my plans were. He has a fit, saying that I could come help him and then go home and still spend all day in the pool, which is true. He only lives about 15 minutes from me, but honestly, I just didn't want to have to spend the morning with his kids and was really not in the mood to babysit again. So I said no, hung up, and had a nice day with my husband. Later that day, I got a nasty text from my sister-in-law about not helping out. She was angry she has to cancel her nail appointment. She pretty much called me an immature piece of crap for not helping. My mum thinks I could have just went over for an hour or two since it really wouldn't have messed with my plans and I had no real reason not to. Now I feel like a jerk, so I don't know, I thought I would come here. It sounds to me like they just held you accountable for it and made up their mind before you even gave their reaction, and then were upset when they didn't get what they want. That sounds like a their problem. I don't think you're the bad person here. Am I the a-hole for calling my mum selfish and telling her it'll be your fault when the baby passes? I, female 28, just had my first, a beautiful baby boy, 2 weeks. He's the light of my life, and both my husband, male 30, and I are overjoyed. My mum, female 61, lives overseas and came to help out with the new baby. She's a dotting grandma, but tends to do her things her way, so there have been a few hiccups. The pediatrician was very clear that no one should kiss the baby other than my husband and I. The baby's little immune system is too weak, and God forbid he gets something. I was very clear about this to my mum, who was resistant, but I was firm and told her no holding the baby at all unless she agrees to no kissing. So, no kissing was agreed. Yesterday, I walked into the nursery to find my mum kissing the baby and generally playing with him. I was so upset. How long had she been doing this behind my back? My mum justified it by saying that the baby was now 2 weeks old and nothing bad had happened, so we could start building his immune system. She also said rules like these was why so many children had allergies nowadays. I took the baby from my mum and called her a selfish cow. I told her that when the baby passes from a preventable disease, it'll be her fault and hers alone. I may have gone a little bit too far. I told her she was lucky I wasn't kicking her out, and the only reason I wasn't is because she has no place to go. As I type this, my mum is busy packing her bags because she is clearly not welcome in her grandchild's life, and moaning about how she will never have a bond with him. She found time in all of this to text my aunt, female 65, who called to tell me that I should be ashamed of myself and that my son should count his blessings that he has a loving grandmother. Now I wonder if I was a bit intense, and probably could have been a bit more relaxed. Although I think the things you said to your mum were maybe a bit extreme, I don't think the reaction was extreme. It's your child, it's the rules you set. It's not her child. I hope that the baby is okay, but if those are the rules you set, your mum should be following them too. You guys are both adults now. Am I the a-hole for threatening to kick my stepdaughter out unless she apologizes to my daughter? I, 40 male, have a daughter, Nina, 12 female. I also have a stepdaughter, Kelly, 16 female, and me and my wife, Anna, have a child, 6 female, together. This is about Nina and Kelly. I've met my wife when Kelly was 5, and within a year, she and Kelly moved in with me. The house was lived in and has been in my family for generations, and passed on to me when I was really young. I've also made some renovations there. It is a 4-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms. One is downstairs and is a guest one, with 3 upstairs. One is shared between 2 rooms. So each girl has her own room and an ensuite, which is especially helpful with Kelly, due to how long she now takes with her makeup. This has started about a month ago, when Nina would come home crying due to bullying at her school. Me and Anna spent ages trying to get the school to do something and find out where the bullying comes from. It all came to a conclusion a week ago when we found out that it was Kelly who was spreading the rumors about Nina. I was furious and confronted her about it, as some rumors were based on Nina not having a mum. She died during childbirth. Kelly didn't take the confrontation very well. She accused me of favoring Nina. Nina has a slightly bigger bedroom but smaller bathroom, and Kelly wanted more space. I said, I'm not going to move Nina out of her room after all these years, and Kelly has already declined to swap with us as she doesn't want to share her bathroom with anyone, including our 6-year-old. I've told Kelly that she must apologize to Nina as some of the things she said were vile and not deserved, and told her she will be grounded as she still behaved like Nina's friend while spreading those rumors behind her back. Kelly threw a fit and claimed Nina is a threat to her and her reputation, but I stayed firm as I don't see how a 12-year-old can be a threat to a high schooler. As Kelly started saying more vile things about Nina and our 6-year-old, I have told her she has 48 hours to pick her belongings and I will be dropping her off at her dad's. She visits him every other week, where she will have to share a room and the bathroom with her other half siblings. Kelly and Anna are both annoyed at me over this and have called me an a-hole. Anna said I have no right to parent Kelly, but she is in my home and her behavior towards my daughters is not acceptable. Excuse me? You have no right to parent the child of your wife? Like, even if it's not your child, you're right, she's in your home. And you guys probably take on the role of parenting each other's children. That's just how it goes. All you did was retaliate to her bullying and punish her. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I wonder if the people in the subreddit just don't have an internal judgment. Do they not know themselves? Because it seems pretty clear to me.